Did anyone ever prepare you for what life after 80 would really feel like? Not the polished version in brochures, not the poetic lines about golden years, but the quiet, raw reality that sometimes feels more like survival than serenity. If you over 80 or love someone who is, this video will speak to truths few people ever say out loud. Some of them are difficult, all of them are real, but by the end, you'll walk away not with fear, but with perspective and maybe even a bit of peace. Before we go deeper, take a moment to subscribe. We share honest, heartfelt guidance to help you face this stage of life with dignity, clarity, and strength. Let's begin with truth number 1. The disappearing circle of people. One of the hardest parts of getting older isn't just the aches or the slower steps. It's looking around and realizing that the voices that once filled your days have gone quiet. By the time you reach your 80s, your phone might not ring as often, not because people forgot you, but because many of them are no longer here to call. Friends move, neighbors pass, family gets caught up in their own busy lives. What was once a vibrant social rhythm becomes a quiet routine. It's not just about loss, it's about absence. Subtle, creeping, and lonely. That Tuesday lunch with a lifelong friend, it doesn't happen anymore. That familiar voice after Sunday church, gone, and no one seems to take their place. You start to feel like the last page of a story no one's reading. Loneliness isn't just about being alone, it's about feeling unseen, unheard, and slowly unremembered. But here's the quiet truth. Even now, even at 80 to 85 or 89, connection is still possible. Some seniors find comfort in small daily interactions, friendly cashier, a book club at the library, or even a volunteer shift where they feel needed again. The goal isn't to recreate the past, it's to stop drifting in silence. One conversation, one connection, that's enough to remind you, you still matter. So if you've ever felt that ache, the silence where someone's voice used to buy, know that it's real, but so is the power to reach out and begin again. And as we move forward, I'll share 6 more truths that no one tells you about aging past 80, but that you absolutely deserve to know. Let's move into truth number 2. The body's silent rebellion. After 80, your body doesn't fall apart all at once. It changes quietly, sometimes subtly, sometimes unpredictably. One day, your knees carry you just fine. The next, they tremble with every step. It's not the big emergencies that wear you down, it's the inconsistency, the slow fading of reliability. You go to bed feeling strong and wake up with pain in places you didn't know existed. Your digestion suddenly reacts to foods you've eaten all your life. Sleep comes in fragments. Fatigue becomes a visitor that overstays its welcome. It's not always the pain that hurts most, it's the doubt. Is this the new normal? Should I worry or wait? That constant second-guessing takes a toll, not just on your body, but on your confidence. And yet, most people around you don't see it. You might still look fine, still crack jokes, still move with grace. But what they don't see are the quiet calculations. Planning errands around good hours, avoiding meals to prevent discomfort, sitting not from tiredness but to stop your legs from shaking. This is the part no one talks about. The betrayal of the familiar. The body that once did what you asked now negotiates every task. But here's the powerful part. You're still here, still adapting, still listening to the body you've lived in for over 8 decades. There's strength in that, a different kind. Not the power of pushing through, but the wisdom of adjusting. Simple routines can become anchors. Warm water in the morning, gentle stretches before bed, a few minutes of sunlight on your skin. They aren't just habits, they required messages to your body. I am still with you. I haven't given up. I'm learning to move with the changes, not against them. So if you're feeling that rebellion, if your body seems to shift without warning, know that you're not weak. You're not broken. You're evolving. And every small adjustment is proof of your resilience. Ahead, we'll talk about a reality even more difficult. Emotional weight of shrinking social ties. But first, remember, taking care of your body now is not giving in. It's showing up for yourself with patience and presence. Now let's explore truth number 3. The shrinking social circle. By the time you reach 80, the landscape of your relationships begins to shift in ways you never imagined. Calls become fewer, visits more sporadic. The people who once filled your world with routine, old friends, even your own children are suddenly more distant. It's not always about losing people to death. Sometimes it's just life pulling them in other directions. Your children are now grandparents. They juggle careers, grandkids, their own health, and their own aging fears. They still love you, but the moments you once shared become shorter and sometimes quieter. At first, you tell yourself, they're just busy this week. But the weeks stretch. The birthdays come with a short text. The holidays feel emptier. And then there's the social shift that sneaks in with aging. Maybe you no longer drive at night. Maybe crowded places are hard to hear in. Maybe getting ready for a gathering takes 3 times the energy it used to. So even when opportunities to connect arise, you hesitate. And slowly, isolation settles in, not as a sudden event, but as a slow fade. And here's what no one tells you. The more invisible you feel, the easier it is for others to overlook you. Not because they don't care, but because they forget how much presence still matters. Sandra, 84, said the loneliest moment wasn't being alone. It was realizing no one expected her call, that when she skipped an event, no one noticed. That kind of loneliness can cut deeper than silence. But there's another side. Staying visible is a choice. Not always an easy one, but a powerful one. You don't need a crowd. 1 or 2 meaningful connections can carry you farther than a room full of strangers. Sometimes that means saying yes to the neighbor's invitation, writing a note to someone instead of waiting for them to call, joining that community circle, even when it feels easier to stay home. It also means giving, not just waiting. Mentoring a younger person, sharing your wisdom, volunteering your time, being the one who shows up because you still have stories and someone out there needs to hear them. Your social circle may be smaller, but that doesn't mean your impact has shrunk. Ahead, we'll dive into an even more tender reality. But for now, remember, your presence still matters, and your life is still being written. Now we arrive at truth number 4. The burden of outliving the people you love. After 80, this is no longer a rare occurrence, it becomes a rhythm. One by one, the people who once held pieces of your story begin to fade. It's not just about saying goodbye. It's about being the one who remembers. You remember the joke from that summer in '63, the sound of your brother's laugh, the exact way your spouse used to stir their coffee. But now, there's no one left to nod and say, I remember that too. That's a loneliness deeper than silence. It's the ache of carrying memories alone. You become the last witness, the final chapter, and it can feel overwhelming to still be here while the ones you loved most are not. And then there's the guilt, not the kind from mistakes, but a strange, heavy survivor's guilt. You start to ask, why am I still here when they're not? Did I do enough? Did I tell them everything I needed to? Robert, 87, once said the hardest part of aging was his vision or his aching knees. It was reaching for the second coffee cup every morning out of habit. It was hearing his wife's voice in his mind, answering questions he never said aloud. That's the kind of grief that doesn't announce itself loudly. It hums in the background, it shows up in the quiet. But there is another truth, one that offers purpose. There's strength in being the one who remembers. There's courage in carrying the stories. There's legacy in continuing to speak the names of those you loved. And there's healing in keeping their memory alive through your presence, telling the story again. Sharing that joke one more time. Keeping the dent in the garage door because only you know its meaning. You are the living archive of lives that mattered. And that is sacred work. It's not about replacing who you lost. It's about honoring them through the way you live today. So if your heart carries names no one else remembers, know this. That S, not a weakness, a form of strength only few are given. And it's part of why your presence still matters more than you realize. Coming up next, we'll explore another invisible challenge. How personal freedom can quietly shrink. Even when you're still capable. Let's move on to truth number 5. The quiet shrinking of personal freedom. You've lived a full life. You've made hard decisions, raised families, run businesses, handled crises, and now just when you've earned the right to rest on your wisdom, something shifts. Suddenly, people start making choices for you. They mean well. They worry, but slowly, your independence begins to erode. It starts with small things. Someone insists on driving you, even when you're confident behind the wheel. They start managing your medication schedule, questioning what you eat, when you sleep. Your preferences begin to feel like suggestions, not decisions. Joyce, 84, described it best. It's not that I can't choose, it's that people stopped letting me. Even if your mind is sharp and your body still capable, the world around you may start to treat you as fragile. Conversations begin to happen around you instead of with you. Routines are scheduled for you instead of by you. It's not rebellion to push back its dignity. The freedom to choose what you wear, when you wake, what you watch, who you talk to. These aren't trivial. They are expressions of your identity. And here's what matters most. Protecting your voice doesn't make you stubborn. It keeps you grounded. It's okay to say, I appreciate your help, but let me decide. It is okay to remind your loved ones that you are still fully capable of knowing what is best for you. Boundaries in your 80s are not walls, they're bridges. They teach others how to honor your experience, not just your age. Because the truth is, the more you're allowed to choose, the more alive you feel. Even small choices, what to cook, when to rest, how to spend your day are proof that you're still steering your own life. And that control, that sense of self, it's not selfish, it's sacred. Coming up next, the emotional cost of grief in later life, and why staying open to connection may be the greatest act of resilience. Let's now turn to truth number 6. The emotional weight of grief in later life. By the time you're in your 80s, grief becomes a quiet companion. Not loud, not sudden, but always there. The loss of friends, of siblings, sometimes even of a spouse. It doesn't just break your heart, it changes the rhythm of your days. Grief at this age feels different. It's in the silence of breakfast alone, in the empty seat during holidays, in reaching for a phone number that no longer works. And the hardest part, the world keeps moving. You don't cry every day, but the ache doesn't go away either. It becomes part of the background, like a soft radio playing a song only you can hear. Charles, 87, said, "Every funeral I attend takes a little piece of my life with it. But even in this space of loss, there is life. There is purpose, because the decision to stay open, to keep connecting even knowing that more goodbyes may come, is an act of incredible resilience. It's saying, I still choose joy. I still choose people. I still choose today. Now we arrive at truth number 7. Facing your own fragility with grace. There comes a moment when you begin to notice not just others fading but yourself changing too. You need help standing. You grip the railing tighter. You second guess whether you can still cook that meal or tie those shoes without stumbling, and it's humbling, sometimes frustrating. But hear this. Fragility is not failure. It's wisdom in motion. Your body has carried you for decades, through births, losses, work, joy, illness, love. If it needs more care now, that's not weakness, it's a call for compassion. Nancy, 84, said it best. I don't mind that I need a cane now. I earned it. That's not defeat. That's honor. That's grace. Because true strength at this age, isn't in pretending to be unbreakable, it's in showing up proudly as you are, asking for help when needed, using tools, resting without guilt, not to give up but to keep going, smarter, safer, and still deeply alive. Aging past 80 is not just about surviving, it's about redefining strength. You are not less, you are more experienced, more aware, more human than ever. You don't have to pretend this season is easy, but you do get to choose how you walk through it. With dignity, with honesty, and with the deep, quiet wisdom of someone who has truly lived. So be proud of your pace. Speak your truth. Share your memories. And don't let the world forget how much you still have to offer. If this message resonated with you, let someone know. Share your story. And most of all, stay connected. The world needs your voice now more than ever.